So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. Last week was hot and smoky on social media, and there was a lot of drama, debates and discussions around single motherhood. Everybody had an opinion. It first started with the Tokemakinwa bombshell pregnancy announcement, which we're going to do a full documentary about. Oh God, just hold up for that video. It's coming after this one. But Toke was like having her baby, was God's 40th birthday present to her. And some people were like, hold up. Please keep God out of this. You desired a child, you got a child. Don't make it seem like starting a family outside of a marriage is God's immaculate design and idea. That was yours. While some others were like, hello, excuse you. So now we wake up and realize that single motherhood has now become a reality in our society. The better for all of us. Okay, before we go on with this video, if you're new here, hello, can you see that we are on our way to 300,000 subscribers? Is it your subscription that is keeping us away from hitting that number? I don't think so. So if you're new here, you're seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, or hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop your comments. Don't fail to drop those comments whenever you watch, and stay glued for we have so much more coming your way. Let's proceed. The truth is that single motherhood, and in fact, generally, single parenthood, has indeed become a social reality that is here to stay. It has sure become a part of modern life. And I can assure you, you can take that to the bank, that in the coming years, as the years roll by, it will keep getting more and more popular and more acceptable. Now, I am speaking from a standpoint of obvious reality and the clear projection, not from a judgment of whether it is right or wrong. Perhaps we can have that conversation another day in another video. What I am saying is that it is getting more and more acceptable and less unusual. And as the years go by, it will continue in that graph. I love that we can have these hard conversations on this channel, and I'm very grateful eternally for you, very mature audience, whom we can have these difficult conversations of societal plagues and ills and realities, and share thoughts and perspectives without judgment or bias. So you may ask, why is it so? It's clear. There has been a drastic social, cultural and economic change. First, clearly, I don't have to tell you from many of the stories that we cover, and even if you look around you, there's one person that you know, there is a rise in cases of divorce and separations, and that rise will continue. I am no prophet of doom, it's a clear fact. Now, unlike our grandparents back in the day, when divorce was so rare, women were expected, it was a societal expectation that women must and should endure the marriage regardless of the conditions. But now, more and more women are asserting dignity, common dignity of the human person, and upholding their own individual choices. More women now, more than ever before in the past, are now challenging abusive patterns and unfaithful partners. And rather than stay or remain in harmful marriages, more women are walking out, and more men too. And what is the obvious result? More broken homes, more single parenthood. Secondly, the economic independence of women. Women are now getting top tech jobs, spots in oil and gas, rising to managerial positions in banks. Now, I'm not saying that should be a factor to encourage divorce. What I am saying is that back in the day, a lot of our grandparents were totally dependent economically and financially on their spouses. So many of them stayed married just because they needed food in their stomach, clothes on their body, a roof over their heads. But now there's equal education, more or less equal opportunities. Women are earning their own money. So that percentage of women who would have stayed ordinarily just to be fed and clothed and have a roof over her head might now opt for the option of walking away and fending for themselves when they find the marriage intolerable. What is the result? What is the resultant effect? More separations, more divorce, more broken homes, more single motherhood and fatherhood. It could also simply just be societal norms and change of cultures, a shift in what is forbidden and what is generally accepted. That very strong stigma of single motherhood is slowly but very steadily withering away, and with the next and next generations to come, it will keep depreciating. So back then it was very shameful to have a child when you're not married, but now people are embracing it as a matter of choice. So many women would say, oh, I don't have a husband, I'm 38, my biological clock is ticking, I'm 40, I have the resources to care for the child. What am I waiting for a husband for? To get your child. There were less judgments than before. And let us not forget the power of influence. Just within the last how many months, 6 months or thereabouts, we've had very influential people. Nengi of Big Brother Naija, Chika Ike, the very famous actress, Toke Makinwa, media personality. These are icons that young ladies look up to. And these women are embracing single motherhood with pride. So more and more girls would idolize the lifestyle and say to themselves, oh, perhaps it's not so bad after all. So that also is playing a role. You can share down in the comment section your thoughts, if I haven't already pointed it out, why you think single parenting is becoming more and more common and rampant in our society as against the traditional family structure that many of us are accustomed to. Let us begin to share our perspectives down below. Now, popular Nollywood actor Jim Ike shared his 2 cents on single parenting. In fact, he narrowed it down and shared his 2 cents on single motherhood. And the view he shared was centered around the quality of the children, especially male children, that are raised by single mothers. Social media broke into 2. Now, according to Uncle Jimmy, he emphatically and categorically stated that a woman lacks the capacity, is incapable of raising a male child, a woman alone, without the presence of a male figure. He said at best, the only kind of man that a single mother can raise is a weak man. He said that a male child needs a man to guide him, to discipline him, to teach him in ways that a woman just cannot. And he buttressed his point by giving a life example of an incident that played out in his life. Let us listen.
A woman can't raise a man. I know women in this place right now that eye me. You can't. You're not built for it. A single mother cannot raise a man properly. You need a man influence, a male influence. Go get your brother that's doing well, or your father, or even a man that you trust. There has to be a male presence in it. Because women are naturally built to nurture, to love, you know, and then what you're going to raise is a very weak man. Okay? It's going to be everything like the man that left you. Okay. Because that's the concept of manhood, you understand. You need somebody that will discipline him, tell him no as often times as possible, put him in the grind. I'll give you again, I like to draw illustrations. I was at a beach in the south of France once, and my son, before then he's never seen me this way, you know, that growing up bonding thing. He was playing with a bunch of kids, some white kids, bigger than him. And well, I think he got tired. My son is a horrible footballer. I don't know what gave him the idea, because he's half black, he can play football. So they dribbled the hell out of my son. He got sick of being dribbled and he went to grab the ball. It was his ball. Now the white kids don't want him to leave with the ball, so they took the ball back. There was a scuffle. From the corner of my eyes, I saw when they pushed him down. So he left and rushed back to me. The parents of those kids were all lined up alongside me, right? So he came back to me crying. I didn't even act like I knew him. I didn't even turn. Wow. So he dragged my shorts like, I said, I don't know. Yeah, man. But there's nothing. And bro, he was 4 years old. He was about 4. I said, this is not open. This was my test of my genius now, to see if he's going to, measure up. So he dragged my shorts a bit, She was from the corner of my eye rushing. That is the natural propensity of a woman to go aid him to pick. And I told her, don't you dare come near here. This is a conversation between two men. Just go back to what you're doing. You know? And she was, now this is where you have to have somebody that follows you, that respects your leadership. She stepped back and watched. He sat down in the sand, cried a bit, and then these kids were taking off with his ball to the other side of the beach. So he went back, and war ensued, 4 against 1. Well, needless to say, he was the one that's better. I've been teaching martial art all up. So all this martial art I've taught you, what is it for? So he went in there, kicked some ass real quick, pushed down the biggest kid, grabbed his ball, and started coming back. Now the parent got up, and didn't I see, was speaking French. I told him, "Send apart from say, I don't understand. We don't have to have a language barrier for you to understand that your kids took my son's ball.
Exactly.
He didn't lift a finger.
It's all of yours.
Now he's gone back for war and took his ball back. And then now you're coming. Now he's man to man. He touched my son. I'll declare war all over the beach. You know? So he said something. I know it was derogatory. Who cared? And he walked away.
That's it.
I've never been more proud of him then, but that was the unspoken understanding between us. I'm not here to help you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to protect you. I'm here to provide for you. The rest you figure it out by yourself, and that's what makes tough kids. That's my idea of leadership.
That's great.
And fatherhood. Wow.
Interesting. Now, single motherhood can arise from several ways. It can be as a matter of choice, as Toke Makinwa, Chika Ike, and the rest of them have chosen to. It can also be as a matter of situation. Maybe a divorce happened after a marriage, which is more common amongst us in Africa. So I'm going to limit my conversation to the latter, these common occasions. And I would like to seize this opportunity to discuss this whole thing more holistically, in-depthly, because I believe that there is a mindset that maybe we need to correct a little. Now, I would never, and I have never been an advocate of stay there, remain in marriage, no matter what, whether you live, whether you die. Even as a little child, my brain was not wired to see marriage that way. And I do not like to see divorce from the angle of, is it a good thing or a bad thing? I like to see it from the perspective of, is it a necessary thing? So I'll prefer that it is initiated or born by necessity. So in as much as we have conversations around walking out of a marriage and divorcing and single parenting, it is still very pertinent for me to use my platform to sound a note that we should avoid glamorizing it, selling it as a lifestyle upgrade, a quick path to personal reinvention, or an easy way out of an inconvenience. My belief system centers around keep the family unit together as best as you can, as long as there is no risk to life or severe compromise of well-being. So yes, there can be many benefits of a two-parent home over a one-parent home, all things being equal. Emphasis on all things being equal. Generally, one, there is more stability, more attention, and more guidance. That's a fact. Secondly, when the children see two parents raising them, they tend to be more secure about a lot of things and less anxious about abandonment. Besides, there are researchers, empirical researchers that I did not conduct, which says that children from single parenthood are at a higher statistical likelihood of ending as single parents. It is not a spiritual problem thing the way we like to label it. It is just simple. Children model behaviors. So they would most likely model what the pattern at which they saw things play out. So that is their norm. That is their normal. Now, when this Jamaica's interview made it out, I didn't just want to react on it off the top of my head. I went deeper to do some research. I watched countless interviews, I got journals, I got studies, copies of studies that had been conducted that show some empirical facts about these issues. And let me tell you what the result of my findings are in relation to what Jamaica said. The first fact that was arrived at is that boys often look up to their fathers to learn what it means to be a man. So a positive father figure models responsibility and emotional strength. Without this, boys may turn to peers, the media, music, or unhealthy influences to drive masculinity. Secondly, fathers tend to enforce boundaries differently from mothers, and this creates a much needed balance in discipline. And that is why this research has shown that boys with present fathers or male figures are less likely to engage in delinquent behavior, crime, and substance abuse. Thirdly, a father's affirmation helps boys develop a healthier self-image and reduce confusion about manhood. There's also this research, well-founded, that says that at the age of 13, boys stop putting a lot of weight to what their mothers say. They begin to see it as woman talk. Many of them stop listening at all. They will sooner believe, fear, and listen to their father. And lastly, it is believed that boys with involved fathers or male figures often perform better in sports and school generally because fathers encourage risk-taking and resilience more than the mamas. These boys also tend to handle failure better, having a present father where they can model perseverance from. How do you agree with this? Now, I want us to have an open mind. Let us have an open approach. There might be an exception that you know, but generally, what do you think about these things that I have just related to you? Do you think that there is truth to it, or do you think that it is completely false? Let us start to get your reactions down below. Now, to some extent, to a great extent, I personally agree with some points in this research. And that is why whenever I speak, I admit I am not doing strong black woman. I admit and I tell my men, my lovely, wonderful Odugus, that we need you. We want you. We need you. We need you in our lives. The children need you to have stability. The family needs you. The society needs you. We need each other. And that is why I would always come here to beg you that any wicked practices, any destructive cultures, any unnecessary behavior that can jeopardize your stay with us, that can provoke the disintegration of the family, now I beg, please stop. Women too, they try your best. Man, they try your best because we need each other. I have always been about that. Because if you keep practicing these wicked patterns, your partner will not, the first consideration for your partner will be survival, not confidence of the children, because somebody go first their life before you think about the children's moral confidence and well-roundedness. So when the relationship is very bad, the first instinct will be survival, will be flight, not fatherly affirmation. So that is why I always keep encouraging my men that watch me that we need you. Let us all be of our best behavior so we can all uphold the family structure, because the era of it is only the woman that should do it is fast fading. Now it is a joint and collective task. But to deny the enormous role and influence that the man plays in the life, the structure, and the stability of the family, that will be self-delusion. It's just like denying the role that the woman plays. Both are needed. So my young people who are yet to marry, who might see all these cases on social media and believe that the disintegration of the family units and the separation of parenting is the fast and fancy and easiest way to deal with crisis or inconveniences, please, I want to seize this opportunity to dissuade that thought. Except where, as I have mentioned, there is a risk to life or a sizable compromise of general and overall well-being. That said, I would like us to recognize instances where the father or father figure is unavoidably absent. One, for example, death. A widow is called a widow, but in this context, she's also a single mother because she is raising the children alone. That is the context that we're talking about now, right? So she has no choice. Secondly, where there is a father figure or a father, but the father is so toxic and abusive that it now becomes counterproductive, and the children are now put in a worse place than they would have been without that father. That is a second reality. And thirdly, where there is abandonment or maybe incarceration, where the father does not want to have anything to do with the child. The question now becomes, does it mean that any and every and all the men raised under these aforementioned circumstances must, as a matter of fact, compulsorily be a weak man? Can't stable, well-rounded men still come out of these situations? In addition to acknowledging his point of how important the father figure is, I would also like to acknowledge the fact that he didn't just say the father of the child. He said a father figure. So it could be an uncle, it could be a male relative. So he wasn't saying that if you have an abusive husband, it must be that husband. He just said a father figure, right? So we have to acknowledge that too. And thirdly, he didn't dismiss the role that the mother plays. He said he acknowledged the important role of the mother. His argument was not dismissing the role of the mother, but emphasizing on the importance of the male figure. So having acknowledged to this extent, I am still struggling to completely accept his proposition or his theory that every man raised by a single mother must turn out to be a weak man, or a single mother is incapable, as a matter of incapacity, incapable of raising a well-rounded and well-grounded man. I believe that there are some men who were raised single-handedly by their mothers, and they turned out to be confident, sure, comfortable in their masculinity. They turned out right. They were not weak, whatever that means. I also believe that there are some households that it is even the wives, the women, that are the stricter party, that are the risk takers, that even enforce that discipline that is typically expected from the man, that is even the tougher parent, while the man is even the more emotional parent. There are some families like that. So how does that play out in Jim Ike's analogy? Is it in the behaviors exhibited by the genders or the genital parts that the individuals hold? So while I get his point and may even acknowledge it to a very great extent, I still feel like there was a lot of overgeneralization. Maybe if he said probability, possibility, chances of, more often than not, maybe I would have completely been on his side. If he has said, oh, more often than not, men that are raised by single mothers may have a more likelihood of turning out this way. But for him to make it an entirety theory, like it is an impossibility, I do not completely agree with that. It is not automatic. There are exceptions. So what are your thoughts on what Jimike has said? Do you believe that he is totally wrong? Or do you agree with him to an extent? Or do you agree entirely with him? Drop down in the comment section. And if you were raised by a single parent, if you're a lady that was raised by a single dad, or you're a guy that was raised single-handedly by your mother, I would like to hear your direct experiences and perspectives. Do you think there's some things that you didn't get that you desire and you need to make you a well-rounded person, but you couldn't get by reason of being raised by the opposite gender alone? What are your thoughts? Share them all down in the comments section. So guys, yes, we have come to the end of today's video. If you're new here, you're seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give this video a big thumbs up. Start to celebrate our push to 300k. Oh yes, start to subscribe. Send our videos to your friends, your family, your colleagues, your neighbors. Spread the word. Give this video a big thumbs up and drop all your thoughts down in the comment section. It's me, your girl barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.